going on, guys? It's Jay here. I'm at the Great Dismal Swamp. I believe I'm in Suffolk, Virginia, or maybe on the border of Chesapeake. But this trail here behind me goes quite a while. A little bit past the 1 mile marker, and people are taking their bikes here and enjoying probably the last 70-degree plus day we're going to have in Virginia Beach area. Anyways, I wanted to do this video because it's kind of like a challenge almost, because as much as my mental health has been getting better, my spirituality has improved, I still have my moments. In fact, feeling a little bit more irritable lately. Might be because I'm taking caffeine now, I'm working out, and I take pre-workout beforehand, and I'm not getting as much sleep as I would like most days. And I sleep in on the weekends. Actually, in reality, it's more like Sunday, because Saturday I get up early to go to boot camp to work out. So, I usually feel better after I work out, but it's a killer, man. I mean, just still 255 pounds, so it's hard to move your body weight around, and I run out of breath pretty easily, get fatigued pretty easily. So, anyways, enough about that. But right now, as I'm walking here, in the Great Dismal Swamp, I was feeling a little anxious and depressed off and on. And, when I feel like that, I always feel like I'm inferior, or that something's off or wrong with me, or that I'm doing something wrong, or that I'm alone in my suffering. And a lot of times when I'm going through that, I don't want to be around anybody, especially first thing in the morning. If my daughter comes up to me or my son comes up to me and wants to talk, I'm like, I'm not really in the mood right now. I'm kind of quiet. I feel like, peopling is just too much right now, and that happens to me throughout the day sometimes too. But one thing I've noticed, besides the fact that I'm a million times better now at this time of year than I was last year. I was, nearly suicidally depressed, full of anxiety nonstop. Now it's just like, all right, it comes in spurts and bursts, and I get over them much quicker. And I want to, give some, tips and suggestions when you get into this mood. Honestly, I wasn't even in the mood to do this video. I wanted to do a video. I brought my GoPro. I just got my GoPro 9 Hero Black, and I wanted to test it out, take some pictures here at the swamp. But a lot of times I feel like, I've seen this all before, or people have seen this all before. What's new about it? No one cares. You get these thoughts that go through your head, And then, I took some pre-workout before I came here just because of the caffeine, because I don't, I try to not drink coffee. I don't like the way it makes me feel. It gives me heartburn and indigestion. So the pre-workout, is good before working out, but going for a walk, maybe it's overkill, but, I needed some kind of a boost. I felt like, I got a decent amount of sleep, but I was tired still, felt weak, like I didn't have the energy, didn't have the endurance that I wanted to have, and that it needed a little pick-me-up. And of course, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's like get jittery, and I had KFC, not anything terrible, but some KFC chicken and fries and a biscuit yesterday, and my stomach was a little bit of a mess after, and and I start wondering, is that the reason why I feel a little off today? Or am I feeling off today because I'm not in the right headspace, or I did something wrong to somebody, or didn't do something right that I was supposed to? All these thoughts go through your head, and I have to tell myself, number one, this is going to be over soon. This feeling, this dark cloud kind of, despair, or I wouldn't even say despair anymore, because it's getting better. It's progressively, it's like up and down, like a good stock market increase. Actually, I think if you're watching the video, it might be the other way. Anyway, if it's reversed, but it's like, it's the lows are not as low as they used to be. The highs are slowly I see like little cracks in the clouds of sunlight trying to get in. And, and the biggest thing that I realize is when I get like that, I'm questioning my self-worth. Questioning, like almost like latching on the feeling of feeling like crap, either emotionally or physically, to being, linked to my self-worth. And I have to say, no, the way I feel right now has nothing to do with my self-worth. It's nothing to do with my standing before God. Nothing to do with how good I'm doing or how bad I'm doing. It's just, you know, part of it's just we're living in these bodies, which are, you know, they've evolved over millions of years, but they have a lot of flaws. You know, we have, you know, that monkey brain, that chatter. We have the, you know, overactive, you know, fear response to things. We're susceptible to diseases. And it's like we're fighting against ourselves and against our ego. So obviously we're not perfect yet, even though that's, you know, part of us feels like we should be perfect or a lot better than we are right now. So we question ourselves and we question, you know, are we doing enough? And combine that with the feeling of being alone, especially if you're kind of an introvert like I am, and, you know, you're by yourself in the struggle, you don't have anybody there to encourage you, so you have to kind of be your own encourager. You have to be your own cheerleader, and a lot of times I have to, like, talk to myself, you know, internally or even sometimes out loud to remind me of who I am, you know. I am a child of God, you know. And I'm going to bring this up because this is a good segue here. I do a Course in Miracles, and my current lesson today, let's see if this comes up on the video. Scroll down. I am as God created me. And the lesson that you're supposed to take 5 minutes, like every hour, which sometimes these lessons spread out for several days because I don't have a good habit of doing it consistently, but I am as God created me. His son can suffer nothing, and I am his son. And it's like I'm still in that mode where I'm a little confused about that, because I feel like I'm experiencing suffering right now, you know. And if God's son can suffer nothing, then why are we experiencing that? So I still don't fully get it. I'm still learning, you know, the whole concept of, you know, retraining your mind, your thought system with the Course in Miracles. And I know in the end that, you know, once we get back to heaven, you know, we're gonna probably forget about these negative experiences and feelings and all the bad things that ever happened to us. Or if we remember them, they have no effect on our, you know, feeling or mood or whatever the equivalent of that is up in the spiritual realms, you know. But it's hard because I have to be vigilant, and I think even the Course in Miracles talks about being vigilant. That is the funniest tongue twister I've ever had. Vigilant for God instead of the ego, and it's a choice. And the more you use that choice, at first, once you finally start to get it, the light bulb goes off in your mind. It almost feels like a superpower, but in reality, what it is, you know, a habit that you're forming, a strength that you're, you know, muscle that you're forming, strengthening, and it becomes like almost automatic sometimes. Like, you know, I did a video a few videos back, if you look down at my videos here on YouTube, about sensory motor OCD, somatic OCD, hyper awareness, and I still occasionally struggle with that. And at first, when it started getting better, I was like, why is this getting better? How is this getting better? I don't understand. Because when you think about it, you know, whatever obsession you're struggling with, you don't understand how you can stop thinking about it, because it's so, like, in your mind. And, you know, if you try to stop thinking about it, you can't. You keep thinking about it more and more and more. But as soon as you accept it and move on and do something else, your mind automatically just gets on another path. And the more practice I got with that, just experiencing it, just going through life and, you know, getting more experience of that, the more trust I had that it was going to get better. The more trust that I had in myself that I wasn't going to get stuck and ruminate on these thoughts and these obsessions for hours and hours and hours. And now I'm at the point where, you know, it might hit me 10, 15, 20 times a day, but it might last 5, 10, 15 seconds. Maybe once in a while I get a flare up where it lasts about, you know, 20, 30 minutes off and on. It's like kind of stuck there. It's like a lever gets stuck in my mind, and it's focused on that negative emotion or feeling or sensation. And but as I trust myself, as I say, you know what, number one, this is not me. This is just my OCD or anxiety flaring up, you know. Number two, this doesn't define me. And number three, it's not because I'm a bad person. It's not because I'm being punished. It's not because I'm, you know, not worthy. It's just an experience that I'm having. And if you accept it and drop the doubt that things are going to get better, it really helps. And you know, now it still feels like almost like a superpower, but not like a superpower that, you know, I have that nobody else can have. I think it's always a part of you, and you just have to work on it and believe it and trust that it's going to work, and you'll get some, you know, relief from that, because you might be depressed, but even if you're in a deep dark depression, you might have moments where you're laughing because you saw a funny video, or you're enjoying your favorite dessert, or, you know, something happened in your favor, you were pleasantly surprised and you felt good about it. So it might only last about 5-10 seconds, but if you can have 5 to 10 seconds, that means you're capable of it. You're capable of experiencing happiness and joy and peace. So if you're capable of it for that amount of time, why can't you increase that amount of time and decrease the amount of time you're feeling depressed or anxious or having OCD symptoms? So that's what I've been learning, and it's a very slow progress, but the progress is there. And you might take 2 steps forward, 1 step back, or even 1 step forward, 2 steps back. But over the course of months and years, as long as you don't stop knowing the truth about who you are and knowing that you deserve goodness, happiness, joy, and peace, the times in between get shorter and shorter and shorter. The times that you're stuck in a rut get shorter and shorter. Like, I'm already feeling better just doing this video, sharing that knowledge, because sometimes it takes like just a decision. It's a decision. I'm going to do this regardless, even if I feel like crap, even my body doesn't want to move with me. I'm going to get up and I'm going to go to the gym today, or I'm going to go for a walk today, even though I feel like crap and I don't want to move. You know, and I notice that I feel better because I made that decision after. So it's like you're making a small sacrifice now for and I hate to use the word sacrifice, but you're making a decision now to do something you don't want to do, that you feel like you don't want to do, but really you do want to do deep down inside. And it's only fear that's holding you back. Fear of pain or fear of discomfort or whatever. And that was the biggest thing I had to go through, was learning, you know, to do what I know I wanted to do despite the fear of discomfort. And just coming here, you know, like I said, I feel better. And, you know, whenever you have that, you know, if you just make the decision once a day, do something that you want to do, that you know maybe should do, want to do, that will help you, but you're afraid because you're tired or you're fatigued or whatever. Just pick one thing that you don't want to do, you know, or you don't feel like doing, but you do want to do. Let's put it that way, and do it anyways. You know, even if it takes everything in you, you'll start gaining confidence in yourself and your ability to choose to do what you want, to choose to create your own life and, you know, path and reality, despite, you know, the parts of you that are trying to hold you back. And it's a choice that you make with your mind, and your body is subservient to your mind. And that is the trick. That is the secret right there. It all starts in your mind. And, you know, sometimes it'll take 20, 30, 40 times a day, you know, and sometimes I will do that 20, 30, 40 times a day, where I'm saying, no, I'm going to do this anyway, because I really do want to do this, and I don't want fear to stop me from doing this. And you win these small little victories. It could be just something as simple like doing laundry, you know, or doing the dishes. Like, you could say, I don't feel like doing it. Well, why not? Why can't I do this now? I know it needs to get done. I know I want to do it, you know, and then you can build up to bigger and better things. You know, like, you know, I play guitar. I enjoy playing guitar, but sometimes I don't like the people. I don't like to, you know, I don't like social interactions because I get nervous or self-conscious, you know, but I'm like, no, that's what I really want to do. I've been wanting to do it for years, and the only thing that's holding me back is fear. So after I get back home from here, I'm meeting up with 2 guys at my apartment to practice, to jam. And, you know, I've done that a few other times, and, you know, have you ever noticed that sometimes you don't want to go to a social event or function, but when you get there, you start talking to people, you start being more yourself, and that fear kind of fades away, and you're in the moment and having a good time, and then you go, man, I'm glad I did that. You know, that's what you could do with all these things that you want to do or know you should do, but you're too afraid to, or it's going to bring you some discomfort or whatever kind of fear that's coming up about it. Just do it anyways. It is a decision you can make, and no matter how you feel, you can make that decision. That's the superpower that I'm talking about. And you know, I made the decision that I'm going to make this video even though I didn't feel like it. Hopefully this has been helpful to some people. God bless.